I want to just give you an overview of a couple ideas, and one idea is that you can create your own economy. I remember when I first heard that, I'm like, what are you talking about? You can create your own economy. How many of you can relate, and if your spouse is here, don't raise your hand, but how many of you can relate to living in the same household, and one of you is having the best economy of your life and the other's in a Great Depression? Yeah, a lot of people can relate to that. Because you create your own economy. It doesn't matter what's going on outside of you. You know, in the Great Depression, there were more millionaires made per capita than ever. In the Great Depression. Why is that? Because there were people that were looking for opportunity. And there were so many opportunities to help people during that time. You create your own economy. How do you create your own economy? One thing you do is you set the goal that is going to make you stretch and introduce you to a part of you didn't even know was there. Now really think about that. You have a concept of who you are. And if you set the right goal, you're going to do things you didn't even know you could do. If you set the goal so high, you're going to encounter obstacles. You're going to encounter criticism. You're going to encounter people saying, why are you wasting your time? Why is this? Because all the people in your life are in harmony with your paradigm. That's what you've attracted up to this point. And then you've got your paradigm inside of you that wants you to stay exactly where you are. And so when we set goals, we typically set A-type goals. What are A-type goals? That's when you do what you already know how to do. Like 4 years ago, you bought a new Chevrolet truck. How many of you have trucks? I am so excited about trucks right now. I got this Chevrolet, it's a high country 2500 heavy duty, I think it's called. And I mean, I look like a little pea in it, but I absolutely love it. It is so cool. Anyway, my point is, if you bought a Chevrolet truck 4 years ago and now you want to buy a new Chevrolet truck, is that a goal? If it is a goal, what kind of goal is it? Because you already know how to do it. So where's the growth? There's absolutely no growth. Now, here's the trap, the B-type goal. This is what you think you can do. Now, when I was in the boardrooms with banks and we would come to our planning for the year, we were in the B-type goal. Well, it was kind of on the verge of A and B. You know, they would be all excited about 5% growth for the next year. Woohoo, 5%. I mean, that is like basically doing what you did the last year. And that paradigm was so locked in that if you came up with a goal of 100% growth, what would happen? The regulators would come in and tell you had to change it. The regulators would not even approve your new branches or your bank merger because that was too big of growth. And so it's so locked into us to come up with these goals. How many times have you heard that your goals should be realistic? Ridiculous. That's crazy. Why? Okay, if you're doing a B goal, you could say this is a realistic goal. Why? Because what you're doing is you're planning and you're saying, okay, let's just say your goal is to go on a month's trip around the world and you need X dollars to do it. And so you start planning and you think of people that can cover for you when you're gone and you start pulling money from this account and that account and if this happens and if that works out perfectly and we put this together and that together, we can do that. We can take this month off. And then the minute you go to start working on this, you start to encounter opposition. Your people in your life, because they're in harmony with your paradigm, are saying, you know, this really isn't a good time for you to be leaving. I mean, your company's in a real growth mode. How could you leave? This could happen, that could happen. And so they start to criticize you for your decision. They're not supporting you. And you're running into obstacles, and you don't have any inspiration because you're not really excited about it, because this isn't what you really want to do. What you really want to do is leave this company that you've been with for a long time, and you want to start a new venture. And it's in a completely different field that you have no experience in. but you just love it. I mean, something just sets you on fire and you love it. But you're like, no, I can't do that because I have no idea how I'm going to do it. So you stick with this B-type goal. And then what happens? You drop it. You drop it. But here, I want you to look at the space on this slide. You got the little space for the A-type goal. You got the little space for the B-type goal. And all that space up there, everything your heart desires, it's just waiting for you to grab it. But we don't even think about grabbing it. We often don't give any conscious consideration to grabbing it. And so what we do, and I want you to think about yourself and how many times you've done this. You start with A-type goal, you go to a seminar like this, Bob Proctor's out on stage, he gets you so inspired, so pumped up, you come with a B-type goal, what you think you can do, and you refuse to go and stay in that space of stretching because it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. You got to learn, I said we all have to change if we want different results. We also have to start to embrace being really uncomfortable. And I often ask in the seminar, especially we hold this 6-day matrix event, and it's for people that want to form their own company or want to take an idea and turn it into form, manifest it. And we spend 6 intense days with them. And at about day 2 or 3, I ask people, how are you feeling? And I ask anybody, does anyone feel like they want to throw up? Yeah. Does anyone have a headache? Yeah. Usually it's day 3 where it's the worst. Why is this? Because the paradigm is just screaming at you. You're so uncomfortable. Your paradigm just wants to hold you back. And so we naturally think, well, I want to feel better. I got to go back to what feels better. And so we don't stretch. But here, think about what Robert Heinlein said. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until ultimately we become enslaved by it. So we're so enslaved by what we're doing, by the path that we're on. We're so enslaved by Facebook, or even Candy Crush, or like these things that aren't moving us towards our goal. And it becomes daily trivia. We become enslaved by it. And then we find we're living the life we truly want to live. And the only thing better than an excuse is a good excuse. We can come up with all kinds of wonderful excuses. When I had this goal and I was talking to my dad about it, he's like, but Sandra, you're never going to get clients like that again. And I mean, he was a brilliant man, but he really believed that. And there's all these reasons that are so good to stay where you are. But it's not the truth, and you're not living an authentic life. So we have to come up with a goal, and it can't just be a goal that others think you can do, or what you think is the right thing for you. Like for me, I kept coming up with my B-type goal of expanding on the law. It was all tied to being a lawyer. It was all tied to working with banks and other financial institutions. But it's not really what I wanted, so it didn't inspire me. What was happening? The paradigm was holding me down. To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm. Joel Barker, he did a movie on paradigms. He wrote a book on paradigms, and it's brilliant. And so we say, if I asked you right now, are you willing and able to change your paradigm? You might say, yeah, I'm willing. I want to change my paradigm. What is a paradigm, by the way? And it's easy to say, I know what a paradigm is, but do you really know at an emotional level what a paradigm is? I've been studying this for 13 years, and I am amazed at how much I learn about paradigms every single day. So yeah, we might be willing to do it, but are you able to do it? To really change your paradigm, you have to understand what it is. That's why we're here at the Paradigm Shift. And that, of all the things that Bob's an expert at, it's shifting paradigms. He's incredible at shifting paradigms. And so that's what we're doing here this weekend.